Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
Take a look at DraftKings shares, kind of up 1%. It's been a choppy session after the company reported fourth quarter results, announcing that they would buy the lottery app Jackpocket for $750 million in a cash and stock deal. Delighted to say, to walk us through the numbers, CEO Jason Robins. Actually, where I want to start, Jason, and good morning to you. There's a note out from Morgan Stanley that says the results in the quarter gone were impacted by unfavorable sports results. And it just goes back to the idea that there's a marketplace you operate. What do you make of that?
Well, I think that, when you're taking action on sports, then sometimes you're subject to those outcomes, and sometimes they swing the bettor's way, and sometimes they swing the book's way. This happened to be the worst two-week stretch of, I should say the most customer-friendly two-week stretch of outcomes we've seen since becoming a public company. And that happens. It over the course of time, it certainly swings, either way, and it evens out. But in a quarter, you can get bit. And in this case, we had just issued guidance and reaffirmed it in our investor day, literally the week before. And so, sometimes that happens timing-wise. But if you adjust for that, the underlying fundamentals of the business were incredibly strong. I mean, that was why we were able to raise our guidance for this year by so much. On the revenue side, we increased our adjusted EBITDA guidance by 15%. That was really due to a record customer acquisition quarter, as well as really strong engagement from our existing players.
So the M&A piece was really interesting. And I guess, do you just see it as a new market that you wanted to move into? What was the motivation there?
Well, we did some analysis to directly compare our customer base with theirs, and there was significant overlap. So we feel good that it's an audience that really crosses over, and with actual CRM and real cross-sell marketing, we think we can increase that significantly. The other thing we saw was that the customers that overlapped actually spent more by about 50% with DraftKings on average than the customers who did not overlap with Jackpocket's audience. So not only is there good crossover, it's also a higher value customer that we can cross-sell. So there's a lot to like there, and we think this really, this is all about CAC and LTV. That's the nature of the business. How do you get the customers on the platform as efficiently as possible, and then how do you engage them and keep them and get the highest LTVs over time as possible? And so anything that helps on either side of that equation, let alone both like this does, I think really will strengthen our ability to compete and win in the U.S. online gaming industry. And so that's really what it's about. That's our focus, and we feel like this is a huge step forward for that.
Tell us about the equation that you have to decide on whether to build or buy. Why buy in this occasion, Jason?
Well, the team that we got is incredible. Pete and his team are really sharp and understand this market and understand this customer better than anyone I've ever met. Also, the technology they've built is hard. It's not easy to build a system that can scale to fulfill in multi-state in this type of setup. So really, that is tough. We looked at, potentially different options, and we felt like this team was the best, and also the technology they built is the best. So while I certainly think there's always different ways to approach things. And of course, we think we got a good deal, too. That always is part of it. But I think there's always different ways to approach things. And in this case, we felt like the combination of the team we were getting and the technology they built was just too good to pass up.
Talking of different ways to approach things, and we are indeed speaking with Jason Robins, DraftKings CEO, to our TV and radio audiences. What about this new sports streaming bundle? What about Disney getting into bed with Fox, with Warner Brothers? What do you make of it? Do you think it'll get through the regulators?
Well, it'll be really interesting to see. I mean, first of all, I'm not surprised that you're seeing deals like that. Obviously, we've seen the media industry get really disrupted by streaming, and sports has sort of been that thing that everybody's kind of still waiting to see. How does this evolve? How does this shake out? And so you're going to continue to see more innovation, more disruptive deals, and where it all shakes out, I don't know. If I did, I'd be making more bets on those spaces than I am. But it's not our world. We're kind of watching and waiting to see. And I think, usually in those situations, opportunities to partner with new interesting ventures can emerge. So we'll have to see how it all shakes out, but certainly a fascinating time in the sports media space.
Jason, what's the next step in DraftKings technology story? What is it you want to do with the platform, and what do you want to build?
Well, first, I think we still have a lot to do to just continue to create an incredible product in OSB and iGaming for our customers. Jackpocket, hopefully when we close that, that'll be something that there's a lot of runway. They still have only launched scratchers in 1 or 2 states and a lot more to go there, I think. So tons to do on the product side just to continue to build out and reach, a wider audience and also provide more interesting things for people to engage in. I think on the sports betting side, live betting, in-game betting continues to be a big untapped opportunity. We're seeing it naturally increase, and that's without, I think, a lot of the core piece of the ecosystem like broadcast latency totally figured out across sports. So a lot of room, I think, still to grow in many areas of the product, and we're going to continue focusing on the customer, listening to what our customers say, and trying to deliver a great experience for them.
Jason Robins, always great catching up with you. Thanks so much.